I don't like jokes. Jokes are stupid. Jokes aren't funny. I'm a grown-ass man on a Sunday night sitting in my basement talking to nobody. That's what it's like being 40. How about a collection update, boys? I was going to wait and shoot some other videos before I wound up doing this collection update, but you know what? Things get away from you. I have been enjoying myself. I hope you've been enjoying yourself too. How you been? It's good to see you. Let's check in more often. Been enjoying doing the Uber Cult ABCs of Metal challenge over on Instagram. I know a lot of you guys are YouTube centric. You got the tunnel vision. But Instagram is a social media app which wastes a lot of my time. And on that app, a friend of mine, Justin Bartlett, is doing a contest wherein you show pictures of 26 albums throughout all the 28 days of February. I'm not sure how that works out. And one letter of the alphabet. Yeah. So in the challenge that I've been doing is showing albums on CD that are not available on vinyl. So it's been pulling out some kind of deep dive picks, if you will. It's been fun. So tomorrow's pick is going to be Garden of Shadows, Oracle Moon. And that's what's playing in the background. I know you were wondering, why is he talking about this fucking Instagram? I picked this up in a dollar cutout bin a couple of years ago up at Reckless Records in Chicago. Kind of knew the name. Come to find out, this is kind of cool. Melodic US black metal. 2001, somewhere around there. This is a promo copy on Wicked World. Yeah, I hope you like it. It's kind of mystical. It's got some... I've had my eye out for albums that I may have passed over in my metal fandom career that have like purple castles on them. I've been making lists of purple castle albums. And this isn't a castle, I know what a castle is, you jerk. I listen to Obsequii, okay? But this kind of has that like mystical, nerdy, fantasy, purple kind of album cover to it that I've been enjoying. I've been really fucking nerding out on metal things. I'm going a little stir crazy. Today was the first day this winter where the temperature has been above like 20. So it was nice to get outside, cut some trees, clean the yard, etc. Anyways, we've got some work to do. I've been going absolutely fucking crazy, driving myself nuts, working on this Funeral Doom mixtape that I'm doing for my Patreon. I'll let you know when I'm done with it. It's been way too fucking long. I keep being indecisive about it. It's got to be perfect, but it's got to be done. Whatever. I'm driving myself fucking stir crazy. I can't wait to get back outside into the trees and have something to do. It's coming up on a year since we bought this house, and so there's been a lot of reflection of like everything that I've been doing in the last year. Everything has changed around our house, and so much that I've gone through in the last year. Personally, this is just a little tiny slice of my life, so it's been fun. I've got a ton of stuff in lately. I have a problem, if you're unaware. I've been slumdogging it here and there, Got some cool gems. Got a couple of finds. So let's you and me, let's have this back and forth. Let's get the tapes out of the way, shall we? I'm not sure if I've talked about this in a video yet. I don't think I have, but Marty Worm of the Heavy Metallurgy live stream series sent me this as a gift a couple of months ago, and I treasure this quite a bit. So the story goes, back when he was writing in Worm Gear, he got this demo, maybe sent to him by the band, I'm not sure, and he reviewed it poorly. I'm not sure how poorly. Marty seems to be pretty judicious and fair about really everything, but he got a death threat from this band, and because of the review. I can't imagine his review was worthy of a fucking death threat. So good job, guys. But this is Bishop of Hexen. That's a white tape. Oh my god. Boy. Bishop of Hexen are Israeli, if I'm not mistaken, black metal band. And this came out in '96. This is their demo. They went on to do a couple full lengths, I think. They were even featured on the soundtrack of a video game that Jack Black had something to do with. Yeah, Israel. I'm surprised that I'm right. So just to put a lot of work into this band photo for just being a shitty little tape demo. Anyways, this was a really fun listen. I'm not going to review this poorly. I know better. But there's a lot of fluid on this thing. There's a lot of fluid on this motherfucker. But it's pretty cool. Gonna watch my words here. Another cassette. I never fucking thought I would have a copy of this in my hand. It was 10, probably going on 15 years ago now that my buddy Wayne was telling me about this demo. And I've never been able to find a copy of it. I had a download of it. I used to listen to it a lot. And I even uploaded it to my channel 3 years ago or so, somewhere around there. I was like, I better check and make sure this isn't on Ken's Death Metal Crypt before I upload this, and sure enough it wasn't. Which is weird. That doesn't mean it's like the most obscure thing ever. In fact, this was just reissued last year by some label. I got it on CD and reviewed it. So weird that like finally it's reissued on CD, and then I find a copy of it for sale on Discogs for $15. The demo in question is Infestations Conceived. I haven't even opened this yet, I don't believe. Just got this in the other day. I bought this thing the second you do the Discogs wish list thing, and you're like, every night before bed, you go look at your wish list and you buy albums before you go to sleep. That's what I do, because I'm a winner. Do a lot of cool things in my life, because I'm a good, cool guy. Anyways, this demo fucking rules. Fucking dumps. The only thing I guess about the condition of this, and this might be why it was kind of on the cheap, is all the print on the tape is completely worn off. It plays fine, it sounds fine, and I'm a little stoked on this because the version of this conceived demo that wound up on that CD reissue that came out last year is a little different. There's like intros on this that aren't on the CD. I don't know if there may have been like a second press of this tape or something that the band preferred it to this or something, but this is the version that I've always listened to in anticipation of having a copy in my hands, and now I do. What do you make of that? Huh? Weird. Couple of new things, believe it or not. I've been really like anti-new stuff. Boy, what am I kidding? Like 2 new things. I read a review of this album the other day, just sitting on the couch, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome, and I ordered it immediately. This band is called Fernway. With Approaching Oblivion. I haven't listened to this very much. Listened to about half of it. It's neat. It's very cosmic, experimental, weirdo. Trying to reinvent the wheel death metal. No, that's not a way. It's weird. It's got a lot of guitar noodly kind of. I haven't listened to this enough to like put my finger on what these references mean to me or what it sounds like to me, but I enjoyed it. It's really playful and weird. It's not like brutal or intense or dark, which is actually kind of refreshing. I kind of think that's maybe the angle that they're kind of trying to go with. I will put a link to the review of this so that you can know more about what it's like than what I just said about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into this more. I guess from what I understand, it's a couple of guys that kind of play in some non-metal, metal adjacent, hardcore kind of stuff, and they're just kind of fucking around playing some death metal, and it's not bullshit. Pretty cool. Fernway, Approaching Oblivion. This came out on Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Productions, which I believe sells all their stuff on Discogs. Which honestly, I kind of like that. I buy a shit ton of stuff on Discogs anyway, so like, you don't have to put a new login. You don't have to, do your put in your new credit card or anything like that. It's nice, and they're cheap, like pro CDRs. So, like, I felt like it's not often that I would just read a review of a new album and just go buy it. But the fact that it was like $8, that's cool. I like that. I'm into that. That's underground. Kind of wondering if the cats are going to try and make a appearance here today. Here's something I also never thought I would find. I had this in my eBay saved search or whatever, and I would get notifications on this album, and it would always be $50 or more. And I was like, not gonna pay $50 for another CD for another 4 months. But this fucking thing was kind of on the cheap. Thy Grief, Tombs of Mankind. The Frozen Tomb of Mankind, sorry. I'm not as familiar with this as you may think I ought to be. I may have had a download of this way back in the day, but kind of forgot about it for years and years and years. And then a couple years ago, I think I saw it in a magazine or something, or Instagram or something like that, and I was like, that fucking album rules. I totally forgot about that. Put it on my wish list, and I still haven't revisited it until I have the copy in my hand. So this has actually been sitting down here the last couple of days, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it. So I'm going to put it on. It's kind of like, if you'll remember when Emperor was, after the Nine Equilibrium album, which is a really divisive and weird kind of record, a couple of the guys went on to do that second Cyclone thing, which I don't know. I thought that was kind of a waste of time. This kind of sounds like what that should have been. It sounds like if you take away Nine Equilibrium and the other one that sucks, I kind of imagine a world where Emperor may have been like done after Anthems to the Welcome at Dusk and maybe like reformed into Zyklon and been better. If that magical world may have happened, it would sound quite a bit like this. These guys are from Norway. I don't really know much about any other like adjacent projects other than the fact that the drummer from Eternus played on their demo. But yeah, it's kind of rules. Good luck finding it for cheapo. Here's one. Boy. I love this band's album, Arc of Thought. Man, Deinonychus, Arc of Thought is really good. But I am trying to find another Deinonychus album that I like even near as much as Arc of Thought. That thing to me is kind of like, Arc of Thought is kind of like black metal My Dying Bride, or if My Dying Bride had done a black metal album. It's great. It's got the like really romantic, dark, brooding, hallowed kind of sound to it. And that's what I want out of more Deinonychus. But this is the debut The Silence of December. And like, you would think this would already be in my collection, being that I'm such a cacophonous nerd. This thing is not good. I see this kind of here and there. And so I downloaded this like 2 years ago or so, and I was like, is that really as shitty as I remember it being? And I thought so, yeah. And then the other day I kind of had a second thought, and I was like, man, maybe I just ought to fucking get that. Maybe I can find a copy of it for fairly cheap. And I did. I found some like used CD store in Finland that was selling a copy of this for pretty fair. 200 kroner was like 20 bucks. So yeah, and dude, I just can't get into it. It just, there's no songwriting cohesiveness whatsoever to it. It's got a lot of trappings that like should be pretty good, but it's just kind of a sloppy garbage kind of nightmare. Like, I don't regret buying it. Maybe someday it'll really click with me, but like, I don't know. 3 or 4 strikes and I'm not feeling it. Sorry about your luck. What's the other new? Okay, here's a band. This is like a newer black metal band called Gharmelicht. And I'm going to tell you, I bought it solely based on how fucking awesome that album cover is. That is an album cover that gets me to buy a black metal record. I listened to it about twice. Not feeling it. Yeah. For a black metal album of these days to catch my interest, it's just becoming more and more clear to me that it's got to sound like something of yesteryear. There's a lot of bands that are trying to say I'm playing 90s black metal or raw, this or that, and like, I know it's not like a lot of modern black metal sounds as modern as I would have thought it would years ago. We used to sit around, smoke weed, and listen to like Abigor and Mortal and Emperor and shit like that, and just go, man, what's it gonna be like? What's black metal gonna be like in 2021, 2022? And we were just, it would just like blow our minds. We would just go, oh man, like it's gone so far in the last like 10 years. Like, imagine another 20 years, how insane it's gonna be. And like, the older I get, the more I'm just like, yeah, that days aren't gonna come. But anyways, that Gharmelicht, I'll probably wind up liking it quite a bit at some point when I'm really in a raw black metal mood. But right now, dude, I'm just like up to here in 90s black metal, early 2000s, late 90s. I'm way into that kind of stuff. So on that note, Warlog have a new album called Three Angled Void, and it fucking rules. I can't get over it. I listened to nothing but that album for about 2 weeks straight. Blew my fucking mind. Damn. I can't get over it. What else we got here? Eternal Dirge with Morbus Ascendant. I don't know, you ever have one of those nights where you put on an album on your phone because it looks cool? I mean, that artwork fucking rules. Far over there. This is some old Dutch death metal, if I'm not mistaken. Probably am. There's something about Sinister, and I don't know, something about Sinister is like, that makes them not one of my favorite death metal bands. They're a little too like skull banging, ham-fisted, repetitive. It's just a little too much of their thing all the time. I haven't spent a lot of time with Sinister, but this to me kind of relieves that, and I kind of like this in the way that Sinister is, and they kind of are what I wish Sinister was. A little bit less of that like head pounding, knuckle dragging, repetitive, just over the top blasting kind of stuff. This has a little more like nuance and groove to it, and it's cool. So this is a Dark Descent reissue of their album with demos. Demos are kind of whatever. I love this artwork on the background there. So good. I don't know. Now that I'm going through this pile, it's like I've been getting some crap in. This was just like I was slum dogging it, wanting to pick up something really cheap for $5, and I remembered how much I loved the band Isagrim. And I was looking at their discography, and I was like, I never heard that EP. Lately, for some reason, I've been just kind of more into like EPs and shorter demos than full-length albums. ADD. I'll do that to you. So this is an EP called Gloria Deo Domini Inferi, and this is a useless release. What you ought to do is get this band's only full-length, Infernus Dominus Eugenus. It fucking smokes. I recommend it big time. So this EP has an exclusive intro, a song called Angel with Fire and Sword, which is on that album, and then like an outro kind of deal. It's a really dumb song. This shouldn't suck as much as it does. And then it has a fucking Destruction cover on it. The main draw of like why they released this is on Massacre. I think the main draw is that they have the video Angel with Fire and Sword, and that video for that song is really cool. And it's on YouTube, but this came out before YouTube. So like to be able to put that video out, they put out this EP. The music on here is kind of whatever, as long as you have the full length. And it's funny, these guys have another release that's all Venom covers. It's like an EP picture disc. I have it. It's all Venom covers. I've probably never listened to it. And I want to say the Destruction cover is also on the full-length album. These guys are fucking dressed to the nines for everything they do, but they've really only got like 8 songs to their name, which is kind of fucking weird. But yeah, that's just a cheap pickup. So as I said in my last video, I picked up Isvind Darkwater Stir finally. This thing is so fucking good. This is why I still dig deep. This is why I still collect albums, because by all accounts I should have had this in my collection 20 years ago and been loving it ever since. This thing is such an essential of Norwegian black metal. It just got kind of buried, and it came out a little later than a lot of that stuff, and it came out on Adipokir, which I know a lot of people I think don't really pay attention to a lot of the releases on that label. But luckily, Kirk Productions, not sponsored, I would love to be, has reissued Darkwater Stir. So, yeah, this thing is a riff Bible. It rules. Picked up Transgressor, Ether for Scapegoat. Honestly, I don't know if I'm just being picky too. Have I liked any of the albums that I've shown in this video yet? Die Grief was pretty good. But I don't know. I wasn't really blown away by this. Just kind of always meant to pick this up. I have this band's I have something called Recollected Limbs, and I don't know if that's like demos or like demos and EPs or live or something like that. I don't know. It's some kind of compilation of them, kind of mixed bag kind of thing. And I really liked some of the stuff on there. So I thought, like, they're full length. How can I lose? It didn't really blow me away like I kind of expected it to. Again, maybe the mood will strike. We will see. I've got a kind of a healthy stack of vinyl here. I've not unsleeved these things. I reviewed this EP in issue 2 of Arcane Archivist because I fucking loved it, but I couldn't get my hands on a copy of it. It came out only on cassette and vinyl, and when I first saw this come out, people were saying, it sounds like Kvist. I was like, yeah, sure, right, whatever. Eventually I checked it out and I ate my fucking words, and by that time this thing had sold out everywhere. So to the Discogs wish list it was, and for about 2 years, maybe, it seems like 2 years, maybe it wasn't that long, couldn't find a copy of this, but finally found a copy. Some seller in Europe had a really new copy of this, really new, for really cheap, and I so happy about it. I've been kind of drooling over this for a really long time, and I put this on tonight, listened to it front to back. It's so good, so fucking good. These guys are Swiss. They're in some collective called the Helvetic Underground Committee, which is this, that's all I know. I'm not going to make anything up about it. That's all I know. This thing is so good. You would think this came out in 1997. I could probably count on my hand the albums that are in my collection that come with a poster that I actually know about or can think about. But this poster, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put this up on the wall. I love. It's not looking so hot there on the camera, but this kind of rules. This EP just fucking blew me away. By the way, I'm ordering a new round of flags next week, so look forward to new album covers behind me. I'm having a hard time choosing, actually. It's kind of hard. So we shall see. I don't know what it is about the combination of like Hell Witch and Balsagoth that just makes perfect sense. It's exactly what I want to have behind me while I shoot my videos right now. But I know it's fucking weird and diabolical. I found this in a antique mall yesterday, which is weird. Ordinarily, like, I see vinyl used bins anymore, and it's all fucking trash. There's never anything cool. The thrill of the hunt is fucking long gone here in small town Iowa. It's fucking Barbra Streisand, Barry Manilow. I never find anything. I happen to just kind of walk by and like stick my hand in here, and this popped up, and I recognized the cover. I'd seen it around for years. The price was good, and I had to get it. Yexi. How do you pronounce this? I don't know. Stricken by might. Have you ever been stricken by a bad case of might? Fuck, dude. So I guess this was on the band's imprint label, maybe Shatter Records. I don't know. This is a New York crossover thrash, kind of heavy trad kind of record. It was sealed until I played it. Which is funny. So, I mean, I was pretty much down to buy it based on the cover art and, like, knowing that, I think Pat showed this in a video a couple years ago or so, but what really clinched it, and had I not even ever opened this thing, it still would be worth what I paid for it. These band photos, man, are out of this fucking world. Look at Ricky Lake there. Did you know she was in a New York thrash metal band before she was a talk show host? Can't really see her. Okay, nothing much to see there, but this fella, this young damper fella, yeah, there's a puddle under your chair now. So the album doesn't really hold up to the pictures at all. It's okay. It's very clumsy and stupid. In a pretty good way. It's not like Satan's Host bad, but it's pretty not good. It did come with this is so cool to me. This piece of paper has been sealed inside this jacket for 30 some years. Can you imagine ordering t-shirts like that? Like, you're just getting a drawing of what it fucking looks like. Can you imagine? Very old school. I love it. Stricken by might. Okay, so also picked up this from the homie Chandler. He's selling off some of his collection. Sirius, Aeons of Magic. I hate to quit going back to fucking Emperor, but kind of can't. So this originally was released on Nocturnal Art Productions. Don't say it, just look it up. Just gonna shoot from the hip here. 98. Come on. Time's burning, folks. 99. Man, I lied. Really fucked you guys up. So, like, this is kind of like that Thy Grief. Like, I knew I had heard it. Remembered listening to it back in the day. Had fond memories of it. Kind of didn't really revisit it until the last couple of years, since I've been kind of like digging back into the old stuff, and saw that Chandler was selling this, and just kind of decided to haul off and buy it. It's also kind of like something that you would have thought that Emperor would have evolved into. It really has a lot in common with a lot of those Nocturnal Art kind of bands. A little bit of Limbonic Art, a little similar to Odium kind of, but a lot more heavy keyboard presence, a little bit more than I'm like comfortable loving, if you will. These guys were Portuguese though, just very much playing around with like Scandinavian styles. It might be your kind of thing. It might kind of blow me away at some point, but I just decided, like, Chandler's selling this for cheap. This reissue actually came out in 2001, I think. So not long after the CD was released, and it's copies of this, I'm sure, have kind of dried up or fallen into the hands of people who are going to appreciate it. So just kind of decided to jump on that, kind of take a risk, and I will probably appreciate it a little bit more someday. But I also wound up picking this up from Chandler on the cheap because this reissue cover art, boy, this whole video is just like talking shit about either bad albums or bad reissues. This is Mane's Under ein Blodrød Mana, Under a Blood Red Moon. And you may not recognize this album cover from this fucking garbage facade because it originally had a fairly interesting painting by some dork. The remnants of it are kind of still here. Like, there's this little baby weird bat skeleton, and you can kind of see it in the background there, but why the fuck would you spend any money pressing an album with this as the cover? You're a fucking idiot. If that's, I'd rather press a fucking toilet bowl full of turds on the cover than this fucking bullshit. Anyways, this album fucking rules. I've always wanted to have it on vinyl. It wasn't originally released on vinyl back in the day. It's such a fucking bullshit that this is the pressing that they put this out with. This album is fucking amazing, and they put this on the cover. Shame on whoever the fuck did that. Hammerheart actually did this back in, I want to say 07, 08. There is another reissue of this that came out right around the same time as this one, maybe like within 2 or 3 years, I want to say. And that cover art is also pretty much shite, but it's just a bunch of like red trees in a forest or something. Some bullshit thrown together. Can we please solve this fucking problem? I don't understand why this has to be the plight of record collectors. Amazing albums with shitty cover art because we're too stupid to figure out our legal misunderstandings. So, I am pleased to show you Dark Endless from Marduk with another. This is even worse than that fucking thing. Dark Endless is an album that I go to very, very often. I'm in Marduk moods, but I kind of don't think of Dark Endless really as a Marduk album. It's just kind of like a great melodic, old school death metal album that happens to be by a band who went on to make some pretty awesome black metal records. Dark Endless fucking smokes. And this is a stupid piece of shit Black Lodge pressing. Just song titles, a little bit of credits down there. You get a jacket with some fucking Photoshop Gustav Doré bullshit. So fuck that. Comes on a pretty nice 180 gram pressing. Sounds fine. But yeah, like, this is utterly, for a guy who, like, CD is my primary format. I buy vinyl, not more to just kind of like own and cherish, and to appreciate the larger artwork. And I spin sometimes here and there. Like tonight I was able to spend about 3 hours just sitting around spinning records, and it was nice. But that's not my primary listening habit whatsoever. So a pressing like this is fucking useless. That's all it is to it. So thanks, guys. No, I got a couple more. Seriously, I am pissed. So a buddy of mine who I haven't seen in 20 years lives about 2 hours away from here, and he posted on Instagram that he went to a antique mall somewhere and just found a treasure trove of stuff. And what he said was, I left behind a bunch of black metal garbage. And I was like, ooh, you know. So just as an excuse to get out of the house, have a road trip. I haven't been to Ottumwa for a really long time. There's not much of a reason to go to Ottumwa for any reason. But so I went to that antique mall and picked up this pile of garbage that he left behind. Most of these I do already have pressings of, so I'm gonna be shooting a video about some of these soon. I'm gonna be doing some experiments on them, but let me just get what I already have copies of out of the way. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It's something about growing up in the Midwest, getting into metal as a teenager back in the 90s. I have such fond memories just digging through bins of CDs and stacks and like old dirty fucking pawn shops and thrift stores and Goodwills. It's been my fucking favorite thing for so long. And the more you get through into your 40s, the good CDs are kind of drying up. So the chance to like dig through stuff that's less picked through in a small town far away, it really gives me a lot of nostalgia. And then to find stuff that I kind of knew was there, but I didn't know what it was, big appeal there for me. But so anyways, this is stuff I already had copies of. So I'm going to try and clean these copies up and maybe give them away to friends or something. But love this album. Don't like this album. I love this album. Best Enslaved. No, I'm not going to make any big C's. So there were also a couple things in there. I just thought, why not? These things were 90 cents a piece. Hypocrisy sucks, but maybe that'll be good. I don't know. Skinless. I've never really gotten into Skinless, but this is foreshadowing our demise. Wonder if that's about Trump. This, I put it on. I don't really like it. Brujeria. This is their latest album. So, like, this is the one thing in the stack that wasn't, like, kind of old. Poklo Ozlatan. I put it on for a little bit. It's not really my thing. This is a video of all bummers. A lot of people have told me I need to get Enthroned. What is it called? Towards the Skull Throne of Satan. No booklet. Disc is scratched to all fuck. I put this on a little bit. Didn't really like it. Boy. I don't think I've liked a single album in this thing. So, last one. Hecate Enthroned. The Slaughter of Innocents. A Requiem for the Mighty. The thing about this band is, if Cradle of Filth had never existed, this would be fine. This would be very, very fine. But I cannot listen to this without hearing how similar it is to Cradle of Filth. I'm not like being accusatory about them for ripping off Cradle of Filth. I can't blame them for, hearing Principles of Evil Made Flesh or Vampire and going, let's fucking do that. That's this band's entire existence as far as I know. And I find so little worth listening to this when there is Cradle of Filth. It's lost on me. Some dear friends love this album. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it, but it's just like you grow up living with your mom, and one day she's gone, and this other lady's there, and she asks you if you've done your laundry today, and you're like, who the fuck are you again? No, I'm not doing my laundry ever again. That's what Accordion Throne is like. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time. Woo-hoo! That was a great video. And it was made possible mostly by me, but also thanks to the never-ending, undying love and support of my Patreon subscribers, some of whom are... If you would like to be a part of supporting my channel and encouraging me to make more content that's as good as the one you just watched, join the Patreon. It's $6.66 a month, and I would appreciate your support. Thanks for watching either way.